It's the Round 20 Sunday roast arse.
It is unbelievable, Jev. We talk about who dogged it the most. Was it the Blues, the Bombers, or the Swans?
Oh, don't get me started on the Swans, Dars. Hey, as usual, we roast the losers, celebrate the winners, and give you all the best odds of the weekend.
It's a good episode. We're really thinning up towards the back end of the year now, Jev. Make sure you listen. Give us a like, Spotify, share it. Be a friend, tell a friend. Let's go.
Let's go. Welcome back to the Sunday Roast Round 20 edition, the show that we roast the losers, celebrate the winners, and give you all the best odds of the bets you wish you were on but you weren't. It's early Sunday morning. It is freezing. Joining me as always, Darcy Ballard. Dobe, how are you, brother?
I am okay. The Blues absolutely laid an egg, but Jev, if there's one thing that can cure that, it's when the Bombers lay an even bigger egg. So it's a bit of what's the saying? Bit of
sweet.
Yeah. So I absolutely loved watching that, which we'll get into, but also some really good Saturday night games, pretty competitive, which we'll get into. And obviously we're recording the first bit now. We've still got 3 games to go as of now. So we've got Pies, Richmond, Swans, Bulldogs, Adelaide, Hawthorn, which we'll touch on a little bit later this Savo. But yeah, started on Friday night. And we'll keep saying every week, where is Thursday night football?
Yeah.
Coming home Saturday, and unless you got 2 TVs, like you can't watch both games. They don't overlap. So it's not like when it gets to quarter time at one, you can flick over the other. It's an absolute abomination.
It's frustrating. Like I chose to watch the Gold Coast Brisbane game yesterday over Saints. But anyway, we'll get into that. But let's go back to Friday night. Port Adelaide beat your Baggers by 14 points. Can't wait to hear what you got to say about this, Dobe.
Dogs ass, Jev. So obviously DeConing out, Mackay out, Zach Williams went out the other week, still not back. Blake Acres out, and the only other one I can think of to come back in is Jack Marnes. So say there's 5. I'm pretty confident if those 5 are in the side, we would probably win this game. So Cunningham was drafted with pretty much with Silvani, Wiedering, Mackay, and Curnow, and he just hasn't been able to get a run at it. Played 1 game early in the year, got dropped, finally worked his way back into the side, did his shoulder in the first minute. So you just got to feel for those sort of players, don't you? You really got to feel for them. So 1 goal in the first quarter, but we look lively, like 1 goal 4, I think it was, 1 goal 4. Yeah, 1 goal 4 to 2 goals 2, but we did look lively. 7 goals in the second quarter. I'm like, perfect. All I wanted, Jev, on Friday night was a 30-40 point win. Go to bed as soon with about a minute to go. I'll listen to the song, go to bed, sleep well. And then to have 1 goal after halftime is as weak of a performance as I've ever seen this football club. Like, it's just so frustrating when you're expected to come into these games and just put sides away. So the last 3 weeks, if you got them, the Dogs and GWS, you win one of them or 2 of them, second spot is locked up. Finals is coming through the MCG. So Cripps got well held, I think, by Willem Drew. Always seems to have his best game against us. Mitch Georgiades from the start absolutely slotted one from the pocket, and I thought, fuck, we are in trouble here. Kemp got outmarked. Like, his tape will be unwatchable. Unwatchable. It's a horror scene. Jev, he got outmarked at least 8 times by Radigalea. He got turned inside out by Darcy Byrne-Jones 3 times. He just had an all-time shocker. No other defenders went with him. I think you will agree, because you watched the whole game, yeah?
Yeah.
Wiedering did not lose 1 battle. He had the one coming inside with Horn Francis where he turned him and got the ball back. Every time the ball comes near him, he just punches it away or just takes a mark. Or the attacker, the opposition forwards like panic and pull him and he gets a free kick. He just gets himself into the best positions. Everyone else was dog's ass. Walsh, I don't think impacted. Hewitt didn't impact enough. Elijah Hollins was all right in the first quarter. Ollie Hollins, Jev, the slowest 60 kilo player in the AFL. He's an absolute turnover machine at the moment. I would love to see him go back as a statement. Maybe bring that Jackson Binns in. He only came in against Collingwood and played 2 or 3 minutes. He had 45 and 3 on the weekend, 47 and 3. Give the kid a chance. Newman isn't having the impact that he was. Curnow was awesome, did what he could. Got pretty well bodied in the second half by both the defenders, Zerk and Alir. McGovern was all right. Who else can I go through? Chera off the halfback. What are we doing? He went at Freo as a halfback to start his career. Then he went into the midfield. Last year's finals, he was awesome. Another really good clearance player. We're getting absolutely dog-walked in the middle. So I don't know what Vossi's thinking then. Saad didn't have enough impact. Who else? Cowan's trying. Kennedy was really good up forward. Like, he was a second fiddle. Like, we need someone else there. That's where Jack Martin should come in. Pitnet actually didn't give away too many free kicks. Young isn't up to the AFL standard. Cottrell's been doggies. Jack Carroll's been average. And the boiled coyote, Chincotta, actually did pretty well on Butters. And Matt Owi's just not enough. So it's just really disappointing when you're just expecting – when you see us play Geelong, like that's the absolute ceiling. It's like, wow, that is the whole team profile. And then we can just play down to sides. This is Carlton 2-3 years ago where we just allowed a 7-goal swing and we just couldn't stop it. Couldn't put a cork in the bottle, Jev. So I'm really disappointed, but the proof's in the pudding. That's where we are. That's where we're at. Whether we can turn around, I don't know. But I'm not expecting too much at the moment. I thought we were disgraceful, and I thought the Power were actually really good in the second half. So all credit to them. They fought back.
Yeah, I was made to like I was a conspiracy theorist when I was tipping Port Adelaide on the podcast we were on during the week. We were on the Fancast AFL pod on Monday night. We did our pod on Tuesday, and both times I said, I'm tipping Port Adelaide because Carlton have played the Sunday 4:40 game. Now this is the Friday night game. It's basically a 4-day break. Monday night, Monday's a break, Tuesday's a break, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday's game day. So it's really 4-day break. And you could see it in the second half. Like how much more powerful Port Adelaide were running, how much faster and more speed they were running with. And Das, you are 15th for points against. 15th for points against. As I said, you're the worst defense or one of the worst defenses in the league. You're a Jacob Weeder and Corky away from having a joint list at Finn's Beach Club with the Bombers, basically. It'll be September Beach Club, Finns, Bombers, Essendon list. Come on down, boys. You are one Jacob Weeder and Corky away. Your defense is bang on average. Where's Sam Walsh at the moment? What is he doing out there? I just don't get it. Like, does he rely on Pat Cripps that much to get his own pill? All he's doing is giving away free kicks. See how many times he was standing on the mark, just cracking the shit? You bang on average at the moment. And, like, just bang on Bulldogs 8th, 9th, Essendon average. I didn't think you were going to win that game. Mackay laid out, didn't help. You're not getting DeConning back. So you have to make finals without DeConning. And I just don't know if you're going to. I just think you're just average. So Dogs and Freo have gone past you, so they're second and third. You're even with points on GWS, even with points on Geelong and Carlton. If the Hawks and Dogs win today, they're both 4 points behind you. You cannot drop another game basically throughout the year, or you're going to miss finals. And this is where I have to say, I am sitting on an all-time bet. Like, it's going to be better than your Hawthorn take. I tipped Carlton to miss the finals at the start of the year. I got 76-1 last week for them to miss the 8. 76 to, yes, I got $15 on to win $1,000.
That's
it
awesome.
could be the best bet ever. They were the same odds as the Swans to miss the 8 last week. We were 3 games clear of them. Of course, like, what the hell are we doing here? It was so disrespectful of the Swans, and Carlton, a bang-on average football team. I just don't know who's in form at the Blues right now. So apart from Curnow and Cripps, but yeah, I would be so worried if I'm a Carlton supporter. I can see you missing finals from here.
I was so shattered. I saw PointsBet put out a thing the other day when the Hawks was zipping 5, because I'm not on PointsBet, they were 1,000-1 to make the 8.
Oh my God. Yes,
how good would that have been? But so Butters did it in a different way. That they just played really well. As you said, it was more like them, the power run throughout the middle of the ground, which got them there. Definitely not having Harry. Just having that second target, we look so predictable going only to Charlie. Like, you got to lower the eyes at some stage and just you got 5 other forwards, or whether Cripps or another midfielder pushing forward. Yeah, it was just average, wasn't it? Just not being able to contain the bleeding. And then again, we come up against Collingwood next week where it's Pendle's 400th. They're going dog shit, so they'll step up play. Got the Hawks, the Saints are playing well at the moment.
You get West Coast, but who you don't want to play. And then who do you play last round of the year?
I think it's St Kilda.
Is that round 24? Yeah, I'm super like. Usually you go 1-1 with Collingwood throughout the year. Usually, but they got you early in the year. You know you're going to be limping in that game. Maybe they thought we'll just get Mackay for that game and we'll just win that game. So we will see, Das. But I would be extremely worried. But
the best thing is now, and it's so frustrating as a supporter. I used to be really bad with it. Like if we lost, you just kick yourself for a week and you get so angry. At the end of the day, it's like I can't do anything to help it. You just hope of what you've seen. You're like, come on, boys, like make us proud. It just fucking kills you.
Yeah, so, you just celebrate the wins, cop the losses. Yeah, as a supporter,
it's all in our hands. It's all in our hands now.
I just want to ask your opinion, Das. So I heard yesterday. So Jacob Wiedering's borderline wearing a mattress on his thigh right now. So he's had that many corking stuff. Apparently, he doesn't take he doesn't like pain medication. So he takes zero pain medication. He gets zero jabs. He has no medical to help him. Like as a Carlton supporter who is a passionate Carlton supporter, what are your thoughts on that? That he doesn't it's not that he doesn't risk his body, but he won't take an anti-inflam to help that corky.
Oh, fuck if I know. It's his body, but maybe he's waiting for the ultimate corky and he's just like, yeah, now bring it.
But if you saw him limping first final, 5th versus 8th.
Oh, surely he'd have to like
he's limping first final and he refuses to take an anti-inflam. Like, will you fucking lose it?
But if he refuses and then he can't get back out there, I feel I can't move, well, yeah, maybe if he feels he can play through it, but I feel if he can't move, like the NFL, they literally cannot move. And they just jab these guys up and they just start running. Like Shannon Sharp said he went, I think, 6 weeks with like a broken ankle, like didn't train. They'd just jab him up and like strap him up. He'd just go out there just on a limp leg. So I don't know. I just think if he got to the stage where he actually could not walk out there, then he'd be like, all right, fucking give it to him.
With anti-inflams, you need to start him 3 days out, 2 days out. Like he needs to start Thursday night for a Saturday game and you have anti-inflams Friday, then you have him you get him stronger Saturday. Then by Saturday Arvo, you're feeling good. So that's what I'm a bit confused about. Like, is he going to take him in a big final or is he just going to hope he gets through it? And then if he does get corkied on the day, does he say no to the jab and just sort of stand there like he did against GWS? Like, I'm just worried for Carlton fans that all this premiership hype and you're a Jacob Wiegering corky away from being a bottom 8 side. So
what was the inbox we got? What is he called? The wine cellar?
The wine cellar. Yeah, he's got more corks than your uncle's wine cellar. He is. Yeah. Anyway, odds. Any good? Was there any good markets in this game?
Georgiades 3.
Go disposals first. I got disposals here. So it wasn't great. Wines for 25. Wines for 25. $2.30. Not too bad.
Can I say, Patrick Cripps? This is shit that we love. Yeah. So I had a 2-1 multi. Just double your cash. Load up on it. I had Curnow for 2, Owies for 1, Cripps for 25. Cripps was on 16 at 3/4 time, and I was like, fuck. And he got 9 in the last quarter. Like, that's the shit that we love. We love that shit. 9 in the last to salute. Thank you, Rick.
I've got Elijah Hollins for 20 was $2.65. That's nice. What did he have at bloody quarter time? He had like 13 touches.
11, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't look like as much. Ollie Hollins, how many touches did he have?
Oh, how many turnovers did he have?
How slow did he have? 14 touches. Couldn't get any odds for him. That's about it for touches. And then goals. So I
went the board with Charlie. I thought he was going to kick heaps, but he was on track. So Georgiades for 3.
$3.10. That's pretty nice. Charlie was $1.66. Matt Kennedy. He's a big dude, isn't he, Matt Kennedy? You saw after he took that big mark and he was celebrating standing next to Charlie Curnow, and they're basically the same size.
How good was that mark? Coming back with the flight and just took body.
That was a big grab. I can't find Matt Kennedy. Was he the sub?
No. Who was the sub?
Who came on?
Jack Carroll. Darcy Byrne-Jones or Radigalea?
Sava. Byrne-Jones, how many did he kick? 2. Yeah, 2. He was good. The one that hit the umpire, did you crack the shits at that? He was $2.90.
Nah. Now, you know the one that was a point that hit the flag?
Nah, I can't remember it.
I did that in under 16s. Had a snap from the boundary. It was behind some goal umpire had the goal flag like this behind the goals.
Yeah.
And it dribbled, unbelievable. Hit that, and then they called it a point, and I was like, "It's behind." Yeah, I'll shut it. So yeah, we were doggies. Bad luck blues.
You're in trouble as well. And I'm sitting on an all-time bet and an all-time take. Next game, the Friday night game in Tassie. North versus the Cats. Cats get it done by 40 points. North showed out early. Then they just overpossessed the ball a little bit. And they invited that Cats pressure. And as soon as you give the ball to Geelong, they are amazing at taking it from their back half to their forward half. And they just got it done. 40 points in the end. Dobe.
Yeah, I finished work late, so I only got the back end of this one, Jev. Let's make the case for it right now. Sheezel is the best player in the AFL. Let's make the case. Let's do it. Let's go through his work rate right now. Actually, no. What other player would you draft for the next 10 years? Pick a player.
Off the top of my head, it's Dacos, it's Chad Warner.
Are you taking Dacos over Sheezel?
Oh, I still think I am, but I think Sheezel's just as good. I don't know. Who are you taking, Sheezel?
Well, you can make the case.
Yeah, 100% you can make the case. He doesn't turn it over. He doesn't miss when he gets a shot, and he gets a lot of the footy in the forward half. He's like playing perfect football at the moment.
Unbelievable. And the fact that
possessions, they're all from centre half back and onwards.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. You could argue, especially like him and Nick mold, like that mold's almost identical.
Yeah.
Nick's probably more suited, probably that defensive like mid, like that's where he's done most of his work. The thing that a lot of people don't know, Harry Sheezel got drafted as a forward. So in those under 18 championships, like he was like the Toby Green, like he was unbelievable. So he's got that class up forward, like he can finish, not just one of those pressure players or like aerialists, like he can actually finish in front of goal. But his decision making is like A1.
He's had 36 touches, 81% disposal efficiency, 25 contested possessions, 56% of them in the forward half. He's just a freak. He's kicked a goal. He's just a gun. 14 score involvements. Like, he is the most informed player in the comp for sure. His last 6-8 weeks have just been phenomenal. He has to be All-Australian, doesn't he?
You listen to that, and he's had a 40-point loss.
Yeah.
Like, what else do you want this kid to do? And I keep saying it. Can you imagine if he got drafted to any other team but North Melbourne? What tape he would be putting out there? It would be undeniably like the best player in the comp. You look what Nick Dacos has come into.
Yeah.
All the players around him, like, imagine if Sheezel went in there. I'm sure he could replicate, if not come close to. If he went to any other list, if he went to, imagine, he went to Geelong, went to Adelaide,
imagine he was playing at Geelong, yeah.
Imagine he got to play instead of Rochelle. Like, you swap out him and Rochelle. Like, what's he doing for that Adelaide side? An all-timer. So I just really hope North get to come along because he signed, I think, his 8-year deal, in his second year.
They got him for Jason Horne-Francis. As much as we like Horn and his explosiveness, Harry Sheezel is clearly better than Jason Horne-Francis. Better career as well. So he's already had a better career. He's playing better, and he's just clearly better than Jason Horne-Francis. North will be stoked that they've got him.
He's one of those players as well. He could have so many different phases throughout his career. Like, you could play him anywhere. Like, if he got an injury or whatever and he lost his explosiveness and maybe he just comes back as a forward back half of his career, or then goes back as a defender. Like, he can do everything. He's got all the tools. So, yeah. Hey, well done to Geelong, we must say. Like, they just had to win this one, didn't they? There was a lot of murmurs. People loved the North's line. We liked it a little bit, but we also thought because Bloodstone's very, like, it seems similar to Geelong, and Geelong smoked them. Pretty much the same thing earlier in the year. Stengel had a good game. Jez Cameron just
Dempsey, the rising star. Can we have a look at the odds right now? Does he just win it?
He had Windsor go last night.
Oh, he was okay. He got pinned holding the ball right at the end to cost him the game. So, not cost him the game. But I think he's a lock, isn't he? Where is it? You can't bet on it right now.
Wardlaw.
Oh, if I was a Geelong supporter, I'll be filthy if Ollie Dempsey doesn't win it. Well, wait, it's not out right now. I'll click futures. It doesn't look like you can bet on it. To make top 8. Yeah, you can't bet on it because it is middle of the round. We'll see that after the game, and we'll go back to it. I don't know. I think he's nearly locked it up. Maybe he's just forgotten AFL stars, the Carey Grammar boy that just loves him.
Perfect. Any odds on this one?
Yeah, we got some good. We'll go disposals first. Let me just open it up.
Sheezel for 35.
The Shees for 35. He was $3.25.
He's a gun. I wish you could bet on All Australian.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Imagine if you're a selector, just giving out mail to everyone.
Tom Powell for 30. I'm looking for him now.
He's had a good year.
Yeah, he really has. He was 14-1 for 30 DARS. His last 2 weeks, he's had 11 touches and 15, and then he's had 30. 14-1 would have been nice.
He's Tasmanian. Went down there once for a school camp, felt at home. Tom Stewart, 32. That would have been
he was $3.50 for 30. He's back in All Australian form. He could make it again, DARS. He's had a good 6 weeks now that they're back.
Davey Juniak?
How many do you have?
30.
$2.40. He's a stud.
He's one. Wow. Jaden Stevenson had 26 and Tristan Jerry.
Wow.
Both had 25.
Right. I'll get you Jaden Stevenson. He could be on the back of the list.
You might not get him for 15.
No, I can't find him. I cannot. Where's Tristan Jerry, your man? He's a star. It doesn't look like I can get either of them. Tristan Jerry, how many do you have?
25.
He was 6-1 for 25. No Jaden Stevenson.
It's pretty short for Sherry.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a really good player. He's as good as any ruckman in the comp. He's the same as Sheezel. His form right now, you can just say he's as good as anyone. Him, Oscar McInerney, Max Gawn, Brody, Grundy, he's in that group, I reckon. He is as good as any ruckman in the comp.
In a few years, you can see how Wardlaw's he just hovers around the 17 to 23 mark touches. Yeah. That when he gets a better side, it's just going to be so impactful. He's got a bit of a Clayton Oliver mold. He just needs to get a bit more of the ball. The way he just hovers around, he just gets to stoppages and then hunts the footy. He needs to be more like Clary than he is like Matt Rao. Yeah, I was just going to say he's legit playing like Matt Rao at the moment. He needs to be more like prime Clary than he is Matt Rao. He's going to be a star though. We all know it. And then goals. Who kicked them? We've got
Larky for 3 was $2.95.
Dempsey for 3
was 14-1. The Dempsey family would have made some money this year. He is good value every week. What's he had? 18 and 3. Stengel for 3. He's a good player. He just kicks goals. $2.60. Jez for 2 was $1.27. Zane Dersma? What was Zane Dersma?
Back in the side.
Surely he wasn't the sub, was he? I can't see him for any goals here, which hurts.
Yeah, he must have been. He didn't play the first half.
Yeah, so he's kicked 2 up. He's come on, kicked 2. Hopefully he can hold his spot. And then Sean Manor was $4.60 for 2, not bad. And then it's just all singles.
Beautiful.
Sheezel 1-36. Sheezel was a lock to kick a goal. He's $1.73. Oh, he's just a stud. The Cats are basically, have they locked themselves in top 4? No, they're percentage behind GWS and Carlton. But we know this. We spoke about this all year. They're at GMHBA. Adelaide at GMHBA. Then they go to the Dockers up the stadium and the Saints at Marvel. Then they finish their year at GMHBA. They're going to be pushing top 4 again as usual. Now let's go to we'll do the Q Clash next.
Yeah, we'll go Q Clash.
The Lions get it done by 28 points, DARS. It was actually a really good last quarter where it was as I say, it was like a roulette spin. Gold Coast were having a crack to win it. Lions were holding up, and then they were just scoring in their own way. It was a really good game to watch, really good second half to watch. Noah Anderson was on 8 touches after halftime. Then he turned it on in the third quarter. He's like, boys, jump on my back. Sam Flanders had a heap of it. I'll tell you what Noah Anderson had in the third quarter. 8 touches, 6 kicks. He got himself going. Wasn't as many as I thought it was going to be, but the Lions...
It was a bit windy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit windy. Ben King was missing goals as he always fucking does. He took an absolute hang and finally kicked one, but he was 0 goals 3 before that. Eric Hippold was playing centre-half back. He went centre back and he looked good back there. He looked good. If the Swans lose today, DARS, I reckon the Lions might be premiership favourites. Legit. I think they nearly have to be. They are a good outfit.
They're coming right at the good time. Hey, it just showed like some teams have those players when they come back in, whether their impact might not jump out at you, but just having them in there. Since they've got Ashcroft back, it's just like it's a different look in the middle. Like he's not setting the world on fire. It's like when Will Day first got back to the Hawks, it's like, is that all they were missing? It's like, well, yeah, like just that one player that. Yeah, like you watch Will Day, like someone that loves football, you watch and you're like, wow, how good's that? Yeah. Well, most people will be like, I didn't notice that. Like I was noticing Jack Ginnivan or someone else on the outside. But like just these players that come in and do a job. Charlie Cameron has had the most mid-season ever.
Oh, bang on average. I've got a bit of a take. Here we go. Cam Rayner playing the best football of all number one draft picks right now? He's kicked 2 goals, 1 and had 25 touches. Name a number one draft pick playing better than him. Don't say the wine cellar. Don't you dare say the wine cellar. He's the only one you can argue.
Yeah. If you had to take those two, like who's playing better, I would take Wiedering. I think Wiedering is playing better football. To be honest.
Cam Rayner's kicked 2 goals, 1 had 25.
If defenders had a stat line which emphasised like a goal.
Yeah, like if on the AFL app, you could see their 1-on-1 wins, their spoils, just like everything they do, their goals.
If Cameron has like 20, like he did, but then 2 goals, like he's dominated. Like if Wiedering's had like the 15 1-on-1s, won them all, and like 5 spoils, and like it's just, I just think I would go him, but Rayner is playing good, Jev.
Have a listen to this form, Das. 25-2, win. 20-2, win. 16-2, win. 9-3, win. 8-2, win. 20-1, win. 13-1, win. 18-1 win. So they've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 in a row, and he's kicked 3, 5, 8, 10, 14 goals in 8 weeks. 8 wins, 14 goals, and he's averaging about 17 touches.
Well,
he's on fire.
You know who else is in good form? Lachie Neale.
Don't get beaten about what you know. So this is the thing about Dimmer. You can never argue what Dimmer did at Richmond, and he never tagged. They never tagged anyone. It was always our system versus your system. Good luck beating the Tigers. Once we win it back, Dusty kicks a goal, basically. Like, we just win. So for Gold Coast to win a premiership, he just goes, we don't tag. This is how we're going to win the flag. But you can't let Lachie Neale walk into your house and walk off with, what was his stat line? 1 goal, 33 touches. 35 touches. I think he had them all in. He kicked his goal in the last quarter to seal it, basically. He's had, 5, 10 in the third quarter, 11 in the second quarter. Like, you cannot, and he's just, like, I play local footy. When you're in clearances, I know it's fucking twos footy. It is hard to pick the ball off the ground, not get tackled, shoot off a nice handball. He looks like he's got all the time in the world. He makes it look easy, like it's easy to pick it up off the ground in the traffic and just shoot it off. Like, he is on fire. So he's getting Brownlow votes, Das. Cripps isn't getting any. It is going to be a good Brownlow vote.
He's come in. So did Zorko get the best on medal? Because I know Zorko started like a house on fire.
He did.
But 35, 13 contested, 83% efficiency. This is Lachie Neale.
Zorko's had 32. Neale's had 35-1. Josh Dunkley's had 31 and 1 goal, 1. He basically kicked 2 at he dribbled 1 and scraped the post in the last quarter. So Josh Dunkley kicked his goal. He kicked 1 goal, 1 in the fourth quarter. Lachie Neale kicked his goal in the fourth quarter. When the game was on the line and it was who wants it more, the big dogs of the Lions just got it done. Geez, they were good. They were real good. I think they're going to be premiership favourites by this afternoon if the Dogs beat the Swans.
Which is fuck, because I can't wait to go back and listen to our roast after round.
We were saying they were done.
Round 4, it's like, put a line to them. They're fucked.
Oh, it's fucked. They are just priming at the right time of the season, aren't they?
That's what these shows are good for. You just react in the moment.
Yeah,
exactly
for sure.
what it is.
Let's do some disposals.
Let's go. Lachie Neale, 35.
$3.15. He's had it 3 of the last 5 weeks, and he was $3.15.
You only got tagged twice. What was one of them? He had a 17 and a 19.
18 last week against the Swans. We tagged him. So this sort of annoys me. The Swans are top of the ladder. They're the best team in the comp. We tagged Lachie Neale. I know we lost by a couple of points and you don't win. But then
he's there.
But it's like we've showed you, slow him down. It's a good way to beat Brisbane. And then Son just let him run around. He has 35 and a goal. Fucking hell. Who else?
Zorko or Flanders and Zorko for 30 and Dunkley.
Flanders was $1.46. That is so short. Dunkley was $2.40. Zorko was $2.30. Das, I'm going to give you an exclusive right now.
I was going to, go.
Noah Anderson is going to be out of my pyramid this week.
Wow. Yeah, that's fair. He's only there for being good at home, yeah?
Only there for averaging 30 at home. He's had 23 and a loss at home now. He hasn't been good enough on the road. I'm dropping him.
Who's really stood up the last month and a half as well? Darcy Wilmot.
Yeah.
He's rolling out of the backfield, running, trying to slice, push the ball forward, actually try and put a bit of pace on it. He's been good.
Will Ashcroft had 20 at $1.50. He's back to multi-form. Just get him for 20 in there. Take that $1.50. Any other big touches?
No, that's it. And then goals, Jev. So this would be a fun one. So if you had remember you did that 2 goals multi the other week? If you had McCluggage 2, Rayner 2, Cameron 2, Danaher 2. Jesus.
Righto. McCluggage 2, $4.90. He kicked 3 last week against the Swans.
He's in good form.
He's in really good form. They all are. Who else kicked 2? Sorry.
Rayner, Cameron, and Danaher.
Cameron was $1.76. Danaher was $1.67. He had that by quarter time. Where's Cam Rayner? He was $2.75. Rojas was unbelievable, Das. He was licking his lips at Ben King having the drops. $2.10. And then it's just singles. Anyone? Jared Witt's kicked one. I'm pretty sure he was 6-1 or something.
Yeah, wow. Rao for 1 goal?
$2.55. Rao was $3.40. Dunkley was $3.90. Lachie Neale, I can't believe how stiff we were on Lachie Neale, Das.
He was at White Whale.
He was at White Whale 6-1, and since then he's kicked a goal basically every week. So
we knew.
Yeah, the Lions. I'm just gonna have a quick look at their schedule while we're here. Their fixture. I know they've got they're going to ruin the Bombers season. They got the Saints at Marvel, which is never an easy win these days, as everyone finds out. They've got the Giants at the Gabba. They've got the Pies at the G. I reckon they're going to beat the Pies by 100 points at the G. They are going to make a stand.
That'd be awesome.
Now, round 23, they beat Collingwood by 100 points that day.
I would love to see that.
Remember when the Swans lost to the Dogs in the grand final, 2016. In 2017, we beat them by 100 points and we went after Jason Johannesson physically and he was crying on the field. They belted the fuck out of him for a whole game. Every single minute, they just belted him and then he was crying on the field and we beat him by 100 points. I'm telling you, the Lions will beat the Pies and they'll finish. They'll put the nail in the coffin, 100 points, lock it in.
Johnson was crying because his cornrows was too tight.
The biggest embarrassment of the weekend, that's that game. The biggest or the second biggest embarrassment of the weekend, you decide. I think it was the second biggest, but it was the biggest embarrassment of the weekend. The Saints beat the Bombers by 53 points. It must be fucking tough being a Bomber supporter, Das. Go for it.
The Bombers' downfall must be studied. It's like snakes and ladders. It's like snakes and ladders every year. They get a couple of good rolls, Jev. They come up the ladder, they come up, and then they just go straight down the slide. We all saw this coming. What were they, 8-2, 7-2? But their just game didn't look that good. When they were versing these teams, they got them at a really good time. I can say the only really good win that I was actually impressed by was when they beat the Giants. Marvel. I'm wow, this is a good win. I felt every other team they got them on a good day. They beat the Pies, and then we're seeing that the Pies aren't that good. So they kicked the first 2 goals yesterday. And then the Saints come out and kick the next 5. And then you just look, they had 0 hardball gets in the third quarter. Zero hardball gets. Who can, let's have a look at their midfield. So this is the team Dersma, of course he won't put his head over it. Merritt, he would, I'd expect that. Nick Martin, I'd rather one on the outside. Dome, I'd expect a hard ball get from him, but no, just back to his old ways. Draper, who's probably facing the other way. Dill Shield, he was too concerned about oiling up his arms at quarter time. Do you see him? Oh, he's an absolute cat. Caldwell, just like he's had a pretty good month. Stringer, these guys just aren't there. Ben Mackay, what's he doing? Redmond, only 16 touches. Like, he needs to get up the ground a little bit more. Gresham, too busy plucking his eyebrows. Nick Cox trying to figure out what foot he kicks with. Jai Menzie, he's been the sub or on the line for the last month. Laverde doesn't even know how to spell his last name. Langford couldn't salute on any multi. We need him for a snag, Jev. Only 2 points. Knacker's caddy, his mum wasn't there, so they couldn't fucking go to her. He forgot his dummy. Oh, mate, this is unbelievable.
Oh, God.
Perkins, Jeff, was Perkins the sub?
I'm not sure.
He had to be, he only had 4 touches. Oh, Brad Scott, what's he doing?
So Triple M posted, and I shared it in one of our group chats, with finals footy on the line, Essendon did not win a single 50-50 ball in the third quarter. 0 hardball gets for Essendon in the third quarter against St Kilda. That is unforgivable. Unforgivable. If you Bombers fans were telling us they're playing finals, they're top 4, lock it in. They are the most psychologically weak club ever. Their mentals have to be studied. There's something at Windy Hill. When that wind changes, there's something that happens in their head. They're terrified of playing in a big game and losing again. So they do it earlier in the season. It is fucked. You've never seen Ted Lasso, but they're not allowed in the trainer's room, right? Because everyone that goes to the trainer's room and gets strapped comes out and gets injured, and this guy ends his season. So they all have to have this ritual, and they burn a bin in there, and they all throw something in the bin to end that ritual and get the spirits and the demons out of the trainer's room. They need to do that at the whole of Windy Hill, Das. They just need to change the psychological effect at that football club, because it is fucked. I would be furious if I'm a Bombers fan. I've tipped them the last 3 weeks. Thought they were certainties against the Crows. You just beat the Crows. Thought they were certainties against the Saints. And who would they lose to the week? Oh, Melbourne. Without Gorn, without Petrarca, said they are certainties this day. Lock them into finals. They've lost all 3. They are the most embarrassing club in the AFL. But they get to go to Bali early, which is always nice in September. Bali is nice in September. They aren't playing finals. They have to go to the Gabba. First, they have to beat the Swans at Marvel, and then they have to go to the Gabba to make finals. It isn't happening, Das.
They looked uncompetitive.
Oh.
Like when the ball comes into dispute, here we go. Rowan Marshall put on a fucking clinic as well, Jev.
Yeah, he's a stud.
He put on an absolute bathing.
Ever since he started whinging about
the contract.
So they got the Dockers at the MCG. I'm telling you, the Dockers will give their best shot, because this is their MCG dress rehearsal for if they're going to be their grand final day. This is their dress rehearsal. They are no certainties, the Bombers. Well, the odds say the Dockers are favourites. Then they've got the Suns at Marvel. They'll win that. It'll be too cold for the Suns. They'll win that.
You watch the Suns get a roadie.
Then they've got the Swans at Marvel, and then they've got the Lions at the Gabba. If they lose to Freo next week, put a line through them. It's over. It is fucking over.
Hey, let's talk about the Saints quickly, just for 2 seconds. Brad Hill, the butcher's camel, the Aldi steak, the German Hoffer House. So he only had 11 touches in an unbelievable win. But we must say, the butcher's dog, Jack Higgins, kicked 2, which was really nice. And Jack Steele, playing a different sort of game, actually got forward. 3 goals, 20. Every single team. What do they need? They need a punishing mid that can go forward and hit the scoreboard. That game, when you look at that, if you look at that stat line, so 21 touches, 3 goals straight, and his size, that just reminds, that's a Jordan De Goey game.
Yep.
That is what that is, and that is what they needed. People were asking, contract-wise, apparently they threw the kitchen sink at De Goey, but he wanted to stay at the Pies. That is the game. That's the mould. He's a tough player, but if he can hit the scoreboard a little bit more, they've been craving for that. But it's amazing how much better they look without Max King. Earlier in the year, last year, when he did his shoulder, they were feeding mouths. They were 8. I think the last 2 years or the years before, they were 8-2. They started really well. And then as soon as he went back out, they just look like they're playing with a bit of freedom and they're putting speed on the ball. Cooper Sharman stepping up. I've been saying it for weeks. See, last year as well, he's just a good target. He's a good mid-sized target. Kamenides, like all those role players just stood up. It was a really good team win. This is like the Saints when they made the finals a few years ago. Not last year, a couple of years before. Yeah. They were just playing COVID. They were playing team football.
Yeah. They've had nine different goal kickers. They haven't had a heap of guys get lots of possessions. It's sort of like it's a shared load. They're bloody good under the lid. Ross Lyon said during the week he knows they're not making finals, but he wants to be the Grinch for a couple of other teams, and he's fucking doing that. No. That's what he said. He's doing that. So they've beaten the Bombers. Who they beat? Like they've got the Bombers. They've got they beat the Swans. They put a chink in our armour. Like they've got Carlton coming up. They'll lick their lips for that Carlton. They've got the Lions at the Gabba. They've got Carlton coming. They've got the Cats. Like they're just going to bring themselves up for all these games. Like these are our finals. I'm happy for the Saints. I'm just this is a would you rather I was thinking of this morning, Das. Would you rather your team do it like the Bombers are doing it, where they gave you hope and then they've absolutely dogged it? Or would you rather do it like the Saints are doing it, where they just dogged it at the start of the season and they ruined your season from the start, and now they're coming, they're starting to play their best footy, but the finals are out of the question?
So are you not making finals either way?
You're not making finals either way.
Nah, probably the second half. It's good to come home like a wet sail.
Like give you something to look forward to.
In the off-season, because this off-season for the Bombers, there is going to be so much speculation. At least that you come out the back end of the year, hey, bit of fire, bit of juice here for the boys. Hey, there's a bit of spark.
They're getting another top 10 pick, the Bombers, aren't they?
Hey, I was going to say that's the positive thing. So obviously we've been shitting on the Bombers, but the positive is they get another top 10 pick. So
and the Saints will fuck their top 10 pick, so then you get the better player.
Yeah. Remember when Leggy said that he was convinced if St Kilda drafted Bontempelli, he would have been a bust? Like, he would have been playing for Eltham already,
basically. He would have been out of the league playing for Eltham, they reckon, which is funny. And Petrarca, they reckon, neither Bont or Petrarca. So the Bombers are, man, it must be tough. So we're going to group chat with two Bombers supporters. This could be the worst day I've ever lived as an Essendon fan. I can't believe what I'm seeing, and I generally don't know where to go from here.
Oh, well.
And then with the Shark, one of the most embarrassing displays of footy you'll ever see. I'm turning on Giddy and the Boomers.
Nice.
He said, if I only could see our Bombers chat, I'd pay to be in that Bombers chat. They are, and then Nida said, imagine subbing one of your most important players in the most important games of the season for precautionary reasons. Poor little Whibley got a whittle corky. Poor darling, subbed him off at halftime with a corky. Jordan Ridley has cost him their season because he's got a corky. He's got a corky. Go ask Jacob Weeder how to handle a corky. So
that's good. Do you have any odds on this one?
I do. You give me some disposals and I'll give you some odds.
Nasai Wangani Malira. I'm really happy I can finally start to say that name. I struggled.
He played well. Did you see his goal? He just danced around some of them. How many did he have? 30.
Yep.
$2.40.
Sinclair 25, Marshall 25.
$1.28 for Sinclair. Rowan Marshall was $3.60. That's nice.
Dersma for 25 would have been nice.
$3.70. Yeah, that's nice.
Riley Bonner, 22 turnovers.
$20.65.
Yeah, fuck, that's short. Let's go for some snags because the rest are pretty doggy. This actually would have been a good multi-game as well, but some snags. Kamenides and Sharman for 3 and Steele.
Cooper Sharman was $6 for 3, which is nice. Kamenides was $12.50. And Jack Steele
would have been like 28.
Oh, you can only get him for 1 at $4.30. We'll have to find that on StatMate on like PointsBet or something. Would have had him.
Yep. Tim Membry for 2, which wouldn't be much.
Remember $2, which is nice. Who was that?
Dill Shield.
Dill Shield kicked 2. He put 2 litres of oil on his arms.
Oh, so weak.
He was 16-1 for 2. That's real nice.
And then that's about it. Owens for 1.
So, Das, how are we supposed to put on a 100K multi? Like, for the first time this year, Brad Hill didn't get 15 at Marvel Stadium. Noah Anderson didn't get 25 at home. So, like, 2 firsts of the whole year happened. It's fucking frustrating when that happens. Anyway.
Langford can't kick a goal.
Langford doesn't kick 1. Like, fuck me, man. All right, let's go. Next game. This game was actually pretty cool. The D's versus GWS at the MCG. So, The D's were up by 27 points at quarter time. They jumped them. Then Giants just clawed their way back. On the three-quarter time siren, Jesse Hogan kicked a nice goal. He put them 3 points up at three-quarter time, does. Start of the fourth quarter, it went Jesse Hogan mark, goal, great mark. Then it went the next centre clearance. They kicked it in long. Jesse Hogan contest. Binga Daniels swooped on it. Snap, goal. Then it went Jesse Hogan goal again. Toby Green goal. They had kicked 4 goals in 4 minutes, and Melbourne had only had 4 kicks for the quarter. Wow. And they were 27 points up with 15 minutes to go. I'm like, holy shit, they are home. They were saying Jesse Hogan has kicked 20 of his last 21 shots at goal. He is a star, man. Should have seen him in the wet. They were just kicking it long. Like, I think he's the best full forward in the game. You can say Charlie Curno's the best forward, getting up the ground, kicking it back in, all this stuff. Watching him play 15 metres out, directly in front, just wrestling in the wet, he clunks everything. And then he just goes back and finishes everything. He was awesome. And then... So 15 minutes ago, they're 27 points up. You're like, they're home from here. Goes Melbourne finally getting inside forward 50. Big Jacob Van Ruin in the ruck, just nudged out, grabbed the ball, kicked a goal. And you're like, oh, okay, there's 21 points. It's a lot of no footy forever. And then Stephen May takes a mark, and the D's kick the most perfect goal. They just kick it inboard. It hits ground. They get a handball. It just keeps hitting the ground. They just force it up. Cozzy Pickett kicks the goal. Then Cade Chandler kicks a nice goal. Then Neil Bullen kicks a nice goal. Neil Bullen would play for every single AFL team in the league. He would play for all 18 teams. He's the ultimate workhorse teammate. Like, as you say, 15 touches, 15 kilometres run. So it was 2 points with about 2 minutes to go, and they're like, holy shit, they're coming. Toby Green got one. This was a bit earlier. He snapped it. It was dribbling through, and the Jake Bowie just sprinted back, touched it right as it went over the line. And then, Giants just handled business, got it done. It was actually a really good last quarter to watch. It was super exciting. The D's, they're not dead yet. They fucking have a crack. You don't want to come up against them because they play the right way. They just are lacking a bit of talent. But the Giants are on fire. Sam Taylor's back. He was a little rusty, but he's back. Jack Buckley was good again. Tom Green was good. Briggs was good. Toby Green is, as I said, he's on his own premiership runway. He's just got himself right for this last 8 weeks of footy. And Jesse Hogan is just unbelievable at the moment, Das.
Yeah, so I started to watch this, but I had to turn it off. Luke Darcy was unbearable. He was unlistenable. I had to switch it off. I had to go over to the Derby. So you said you were going to watch this one. I really got to go back and watch the back end of the game. But Melbourne really cracked in at the start. As you said, they're just missing a few pieces. So the back end of last year, of next year, you think that once they start to get a few players back, like they'll be all right. Just want to look at, so in a couple of our punters clubs, we were looking, so we're both alive. 10K punters club's alive. 4x100 punters club is alive as well. We're like, Jesse Hogan for 2, we're like, it's in the wet. I'm like, he's the best wet player of all time.
Yep.
He doesn't drop them. So I tend to agree. Like, he's forward craft, up forward. Oh, I did see when Harvey Thomas kicked it into his leg, and he cracked the shits. Harvey Thomas went to run in and have a shot, and he just dribbled it into Hogan's legs, and he just has the worst white line fever, doesn't he? He cracks it. So, no, kick 4, as you said, Toby Green just doing it in the right way. Let's have a look at some odds.
Hey, what about our man, the local produce dust? 36 touches in the wet on the MCG. What a stud, man.
Jared Healy, I'm pretty sure it was Jared Healy. It was either him or Kane. Said that when he picked 2 coming out, like they see him as like the next, how do you say, like the modified midfielder, like just the big body, the prototype, the Bontempelli, but he's just not getting enough kicks. Like a lot of games he gets lost only getting maybe 5 or 6 kicks. 36 touches, 19 handballs, 17 kicks. There it is.
6 marks, 3 tackles. Great.
That's the game.
Das, I'll tell you who played a great game, and he was a good player. That James Peatling, the young fella, number 20, he's had 28 touches. He had 11 tackles. He won the game with that tackle on Caleb Windsor with about 30 seconds to go. He's 23 years old. He's just the perfect role player sort of thing. So guess what Finn was for 35?
What?
19-1 would have been great.
I was going to say 17.
Yeah,
Nice.
19-1 is awesome. Your man, Lockie Whitfield, another 35 kick-outs, $2.70.
That's awesome. Tom
Green, 30 and a goal. He was $1.31 for 30. $1.31. How do you bet on him? You cannot take $1.31.
Peatling?
Yeah, let me find him. Hopefully we can find him. What do you have? 25. I can't find the great man.
Great man.
Where is little Jimmy Peatling? Briggs. No, I'm into goals now. No, I can't find. You couldn't get Peatling.
He's on the stat sheet. Oliver, 25. He might have been all right. Rivers, 25. Fuck, he had 19 last week.
Where's Rivers? Where's Oliver? Hang on. I'm lost here. Give me a sec. Yeah, there's the first page. Clayton Oliver was $1.87. Rivers was $1.85.
Viney, mate, he just gets 20 every week.
$1.21. You locked that in the 100K. Himmelberg, 20, probably not much. Like $1.42, not too bad. Now, goals.
Yeah, so let's have a look at.
Jesse Hogan for 4 was $3.80. He's gone 4, 4, and 4 his last 3 weeks. He's a stud, man. He is an All-Australian lock.
You know who looks exactly like him with his haircut now? Luke Ryan for Freo.
Yeah.
Like, it's identical. It's identical.
Toby Green kicked 3 goals too. One was legit touched on the line. He could have kicked 4 as well. He's on fire. He was 335 for 3, 750 for 4. He's kicked 3, 2, 4, 2, 3 his last couple of weeks. He's backed us.
Kate Chandler for 2, the chin.
He kicked a really nice goal to make it a 2-point game. He was $5.30 for 2.
Bingett Daniels for 2, Fritsch for 2.
Bingett Daniels was $3.35. Bailey Fritsch was too cold, basically. Yeah. He's a fair weather player. He was $1.83.
And then just heaps of singles. What was Shaky Milkshake for 1?
Your man, Morgs' man, the Melksham. He was on the radio this week. He's very funny. $1.21. He loves cash. Absolutely loves cash. So the Giants are as good as any team in the Comtas. They are back. They've got their game right at the right time of year. They know what they're doing.
You know what I can't wait to do next year? So as soon as teams start to dog it,
back them to win the flag.
That we initially like in our preview, fuck it, put money on them.
Yep, 100%. 100%. Oh, last game, the Derby. This was not as easy as Freo supporters wouldn't want it. West Coast were winning this game all the way up nearly till 3/4 time. They ended up running away with 35-point winners, the Dockers. There was a big fight, which was good to watch, a bit of passion. And you saw the Freo supporters. They saw the Freo players. They saw a 2-on-1. They just got up and sprinted over. Caleb Strong was in about 9 different spot fires, but they handle business. They get it done. We all thought it was going to happen. I think the line was 36.5. They won by 35 points. The bookies knew what they were doing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so West Coast come out like they knew, like this is their grand final. So they got a few players back. Elliot Yeo started the game. It's amazing. When you watch him play when he's fit, he's so fast.
So good.
So explosive. And just off almost like Oliver, off one step, they just get 55 meter kick penetration. Yeah. Harley Reid was lacing up guys really well. Jack Williams was competing really well up forward. But then eventually, Jev, if you spell Freo, if you look at the letters on the alphabet, where are they? They're in the corridor. And that's where Freo like to play, in the corridor. You watch them, as soon as they started to go, handball inside, game over. They were so fast. There was a few times where they get up to midfield, and rather than turning, waiting for your forwards and to link up and turn and go, the first person that was there with a handball, whether it was Brayshaw, Sarong, anyone coming through, they had to give it, and that just made it up forward undeniable. They just could not be stopped. So, what's his name? Our man, Pizza Hut Tracy, Jev, he's so competitive.
He's a dog, isn't he?
But marks in the air, chase down tackles. He was going everywhere, doing everything you want.
Yeah.
And I got a thing saying error, problem, saving local backup audio.
I think you'll be fine. It's still recording. Perfect. We'll just let it go.
I can't wait to see this. But Tom Emmett, his first game back, he was kicking snags. He was good. Now, I just want to say, our man, so Will Schofield, I just think he's trying to take a bit of our thunder, Jev. He saw that the mud flap. He's taken a little bit of, he's a bit of a cult figure, and he's come out saying, no, this is his nickname, the Loosh. Here's your T-shirt.
Not happy with it.
He's our man. He's our man, the mud flap.
The
So
mud flap.
we're always going to call him the mud flap. Everyone here at the 100K HQ, all the fans of the roast and the pod will keep listening to him as the mud flap. Jai missed Jev. He had a really good 1-goal game. But yeah, they were just coming through corridor. Harley Reid, we need to look at it. He gave away the free kick to Swiatkowski like in the third quarter. That's when all the melee started and all the little fights. He's got a bit of an anger issue, but I like that he plays on the edge a bit, and they were booing him. I don't think he would get to him. I think someone like that, if they're getting booed, he would almost see that as I'm getting cheered in the other way. Like I don't think it would really get to him, but he's like a little puppy. Like you give him he just wants to bite back at everything. So he'll obviously calm that down. You love how much on the edge he plays, but he had a really good game. Like, what do you have? Finished with 29. Like, you got a lot of it.
Yeah. 29 touches a point. Like, you can tell he's going to love these derbies. He's going to love the big game, the big moments. Like, yeah, he's a star. Das, I'll tell you what makes me think Freo can actually win the premiership this year, especially if they get a couple of home finals. That Caleb Sarong and Andrew Brayshaw have added kicking goals to their game.
100%.
Since their bye. So I'm looking at now, from round 0 to round 11, Caleb Sarong didn't kick 1 goal, right? And then he's kicked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's kicked 5 in 7 games since the bye. So 5 goals for the year, not great, but he's like, it's 1 and 32, 36 and 1, 22 and 1, 23 and 1. Like, he's added a goal to his game. And then I'm looking at Andrew Brayshaw. So he only had 3 goals up to round 11. Same thing. He's kicked a goal in 5 of the last 7 games as well. So, like, these guys, they're getting 30 touches and a goal. Like, that's what Chad Errol and Isaac were doing all at the start of the season, and Sarong and stuff. Like, the league copies it to each other, and you got to add that to your game. And now all of a sudden, if Tracy's kicking 3 and Miss is kicking 3, and you got to kick 100 points to win, and Sarong adds a goal, Brayshaw adds a goal to his game, like, yeah, they're starting to look super dangerous. I can 100% see him playing grand final day. They've got the best back line in the comp. I'd take their back 6 over any back 6. Their mids and ruckman are as good as any team in the comp. You can pick your poison, but they are as good as anyone. Sarong, Brayshaw, Darcy, Jackson, Hayden Young, all these guys, they're as good as anyone. You can prefer Butters and Rosie or Cripps and Walsh or Errol and Chad and whatever, but they're as good as anyone. And if their forwards can stand up, I can see them playing on the MCG grand final day.
Sarong is a genuine smoky for the Brownlow. Like, he was hovering thereabouts, but his game is standing up. Like,
he's still getting 10-1.
So I got a question. So what do you think? So you go one or two ways. So you don't want to show your hand so much in footy. Like, you can almost say the Swans went out of the blocks, played unbelievable, and now it's almost like the league gets a chance to look at you. I maybe don't think that, like, obviously John Longmire, he's come out and said, we're expecting, like, we want to win games, but you're not just going to not try and win games. And now that we have, our game plan almost got looked at a little bit more. Why it feels almost like you'd lost a few more. Maybe they don't get dissected as much. So how much of it is Fremantle is an in-season change just because they're not playing well? Or how much of it's, hey, we're going to play this way for the first half of the year, and then we've got our other playbook for the back end of the year? How much do you reckon it's just, no, we need to change? Or how much was a planned, this is our second phase coming into finals, you reckon?
Doesn't Freo's game feel like at the start of the year it was get the defensive profile right?
It was rugby.
Just be the defensive team. And as they've stacked wins and their defense has stood up, it's just week by week, game by game, they've added an offensive flair. And they've been allowed to play more offense, more through the corridor, more risk. And it's just slow. And now they are, I'm telling you, they're as good as any team. And as I said, now Sarong and Brayshaw have added goals to their game. So their defense stands up. Everyone knows their defense is as good as any defense. Yeah. And now anyone kick goals. They take risks through the corridors. They handball it around like, it's just layers on layers. They're like an onion. They're the onion of the AFL dust. It's layers on layers on layers on layers of just getting it right. We called for Justin Longmuir's head, I'm pretty sure, at the start of the year.
100%.
In the preseason. He can clearly coach. And they're building, whoever they've got as their assistant coach in their building must have their shit sorted because they are good.
Joey Montagna always lets the boys know on, because he does some work with like the list stuff. He lets them know his fingerprints are all over Freo. And they go through their draft the last 4 or 5 years. Like, they haven't missed a pick.
No, they don't miss, man. And they've lost Liam Henry to the Saints. Like, they don't miss.
They got lost him and Schultz, and now they got another first rounder coming in this year.
It's going to be a top 7 pick. They won't miss again.
So, and they've got, I'm going to fucking mess his name up here. Cooper, played Vic Country.
Oh, that's right.
He was a slider because he hurt his leg. I think he was picked 37. I don't think he's played a game yet, and he looked like he was meant to be a top 10 pick. So, a big runner. So maybe next year he comes into the side. It looks like that they're hereabouts for the next 2 or 3 years, aren't they? Let's have a look at some stats.
The top 4 could be Swans, Brisbane, Freo, GWS, all out of Victorian top 4.
Have you seen that? I saw someone did it the other day after Carlton lost, and then they had Port Adelaide in there. So it was like all after the first week of finals, saying interstate versus
Cooper Simpson, the guy you're thinking of?
Cooper Simpson, that's the one.
I remember when people were posting it was Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon in the top 4 with the Swans. They're like, how big's this going to be? And now it's just all interstate teams.
Let's have
disposals. Give me disposals.
Yeah, so let's have a look at Brayshaw for 35.
So much peril. Brayshaw was 4-1 for 35. Sarong was, he only had 30. He was $1.67 for 30.
Kelly for 30.
Kelly for 30 was $5.70. Jeez, that's nice.
He was cracking in. Harley Reid for 25.
Harley Reid for 25 was $3.60. He was $10.50 for 30, one possession off.
I wanted to do this for a Who Am I 1 week, but I just couldn't justify him being in the multi. If I asked you, Morgs definitely would know, who's number 28 for West Coast?
Fuck. Couldn't tell you. I'm looking at his name now. I wouldn't have guessed it. Tom Cole.
Did you know he played in the grand final in 2018?
No.
I knew you would. It's fuck. He's a player that's just been there for ages. Played his 100th game a few weeks ago. It's so fucking funny. You just look at him, you're like, who? Yeah, there you go, 109 games. You wouldn't know.
25, he was $4.40. He would not go in anyone's multis. Everyone would be like, Tommy Cole, he's all right. I'm not putting him.
I reckon 90% of footy fans would not know he existed.
Not a fucking, 100% wouldn't know. Apart from WA people, wouldn't know. Elliot Yeo was $2.45 for 25. That's about all for the touches. Nothing much more.
Let's go some snags.
So
Fast Freddy for 3, Tracy for 3, and Tom Emmett for 3.
So many snacks. So big Pizza Huts were $2.20. Tom Emmett. Frederick was $7.75, which is really nice. Where's Tom Emmett? Was he a late in?
Maybe.
I can't find him right now. Tracy missed it. Jackson Walters. Yeah, I can't find Tom Emmett Das. Sean Darcy,
because his first game back, they didn't think he was going to
kick a snag, or maybe they thought he was going to play back. Who else? Switter, your man, Switter,
he's good.
Kick 2. Switter was $5.40 for 2. That's delicious. And Jaeger Ramirez kicked 2 as well. He was $12 to 1 for 2. Sarong was $2.60 for 1. Brayshaw was $2.60 for 1. There's some good odds. And then some West Coast. Mudflap, 3.
Mudflap, 3. He kicked a nice goal coming out the back. Snap. Beautiful.
$4.50 for 3. What a player. Sportsbet gave me 180 to 1 for 6. I had to have 5 on it. It was the odds boost. I had to have a 5 on it. Didn't get it. Little Flying Ryan for 2.
The carpet man.
He was $4.30 for the Australian Aladdin. Cripps 1, Kelly 1, Oscar Ella 1. What was Josh Kelly? Tim Kelly, $4 for 1. So that's not too bad.
Hey, that's the first half of the roast, Jeff. So we've got 3 games to go. We'll go through the ladder at the end of the next 3 games. So we'll do them tonight once Hawthorn and Adelaide have played.
Are Collingwood $1.26 certainties?
No.
Not at all. I can't justify saying Richmond are going to win, but I would not touch that $1.26 with a 10-foot pole dust. Swans, Dogs, I'm terrified. I think we're going to win, get our game back on track, but they're going to stretch us tall. They're going to play Darcy, Norton, Jamara. They're going to back themselves super tall because they know the Swans are a bit undersized. So they don't be surprised if all those forwards kick 2 goals, 2 each from just kicking high, set shots all day. So I'm worried about Bond for a big game. They're going to stretch us with the midfield as well. It's going to go battle for battle. Rowbottom will go to Rowbottom will go to Bont. So maybe look at Bont more like maybe a 20-touch, maybe 2-goal game.
Yeah.
And then I think James Jordan will go to either Bailey Dale or Ed Richards. So keep, or maybe, something like that. So eyes on that. I think the Swans will win. I think we'll get our game back on track. I think we can also stretch them. We can make their back six, put them under the pump like Port Adelaide did that day. So I'm hoping that game happens. And then Crows Hawthorn. I can't see a world where Hawthorn don't win this game. That's how good a form they're in.
Yeah, I sort of can't. Yeah, well, Adelaide have got a few out, but I just hope they win. They're exciting to watch. Like, not many people sit there at the Bachelors game. You want to watch the Hawks. They're exciting.
David King and fucking Jordan Lewis are calling them the Showtime Hawks. Like, how I was calling them the Showtime Swans about round 4, and I was calling them the 96 Bulls. What did fucking Kingy say? The 1980 Lakers, the Showtime Lakers. Fucking hell. It just does me head in. Anyway. No. I think the Hawks win. I think everyone kicks a goal in this game. Dylan Moore won. Ginnivan won. All the mids. Will Day won. Newcomb won. Like, they just put on the show. It's going to be a great game to watch, that one. I will see you later, Das.
Alrighty, my guy.
Welcome back to part 2 of the Sunday roast. The Sunday games have been played and won, and there's a couple of results we have to talk about. First of all, Collingwood get it done over the Tigers. 26 points on the MCG. Talk to me, Dobe.
Yeah, we'll nut through this one quickly because if both teams aren't really in finals contention, we don't really want to touch on it too much this time of year. Look, not trying to throw shade at either side, but it is what it is. So Nick Dacos started the first quarter with 18. Now, that just took me back. I remember one day Andrew Carato had 17 in the first quarter, which was off the charts back then. Nick Dacos, the fact that they just didn't put anyone to him and he just did whatever he wanted. I think he got tagged in the third quarter and he had 7 touches. So he's had 18, 8, 7, and 9.
Yeah.
He's a jet. So that's 3 Brownlow votes. So he's coming back in, which is nice to see. Did you watch much of this game? It was like the Pies just started hot. It was almost like a classic Pies game from last year when they're rolling. All their mid forwards are getting it. Schultz is getting it. Bobby's getting it. Like, down back, they look good. They look a lot better with McStay back in the side. Hoskin-Elliott gets a few kicks. That's when you know that they're doing pretty well. And the Tigers, that's just where they're at, isn't it?
Yeah, we've been on it all year. We were told out of Melbourne that Melbourne sold Richmond a lemon with Adamuze. It just felt like today, show your Richmond supporters. We've got some young kids. Collingwood are on their knees. Just go out and beat them today or have a crack. You can't let Dacos just run around and have 40. Everyone knows that. You just can't. And they tried to put Baker to him, but Baker's probably like, he's the sort of guy that can go in, but when he sees ball, he wants to get ball. He's not going to stick to the task of like man on, make it super hard. You just can't let Dacos have 42. They did look a lot better. They looked good in the first half. You could see it would have been a bring your mouth guards to training sort of week after the Hawks embarrassed them. And they were just changing their angles, going inside forward 50. They were lowering their eyes, hitting shorts, and then they were also getting it out the back. They were getting good set shots. Everyone was kicking goals. It wasn't just 1 or 2. And then McStay, as you said, he looks really good. They've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different goal kickers with McStay kicking 3. So
did you see
it was good to see him back.
Did you see how frustrated Noah Bolter was getting because Darcy Moore kept getting over the top and spoiling him? I couldn't believe he's only 24. You think he's like 29, don't you, Noah Bolter? It just feels like he's been hanging around for a while.
Yeah, he's got a good future ahead of him. Like, he's a good key back. It's good to see Thanos Dacos have a good game with 32. Geez, he was in some bad form and he was lucky he was brother of Nick. But he's had a good game. 32 touches. Nick, 42. Nathan Broad's a bloody good footballer.
It's weird.
Rioli's death taxes. He's had 25. Geez, we should aim for 25 in the 100K.
It'd be so good if we could actually say that about Josh, but the fact that he's best and fairest winner in a premiership team, he's just like... but yeah, no, he is definitely, it was almost bring your brother to work day today for Nick. He's like, Josh, you got to come with me today. Get on the bus.
The way they played today, Das, is the last thing you want to see for Carlton Collingwood next Friday night.
Hey, you know what we are? So the Blues, ignite. Jev, we're the team igniter. If you want to boost, if you want to get going, come versus us. Come versus us. That's what we'll do. If you look at our last, 3 games, like you look at we versus the Dogs, They're unbelievable now. We versed the Giants. They're unbelievable now. If you want to get in form, come verse us. We will work you into form. That's what we do. We're like the fluffer on a porn site, Jev. We just get the lube out. We get everyone working, get the things wet and hard. It's good. That's what we do.
It is a big game next week. So you're on 48. Collingwood are on 40. So if they want to make finals, they have to win next week against the Blues. It's a big week of footy.
If we want to keep dogging it, we have to keep losing. So Nick Dacos, Jev, 42 touches for 40. What do you reckon?
750.
Yeah, 625. So he's sitting around like almost like what Trelaw's been the whole year. Dacos, his brother, little brother.
Thanos. What's Thanos for 30?
For 30, 550.
That's not bad. Not bad. Broad 25. Jack Bytel 25.
Wow, Broad was $19.
That's nice. That's real nice.
I'm not even going to lie here, Jev. I don't know who Jack Bytel is.
Either do I, but he's had 25. And then it's probably not much.
I watched pretty much that whole game.
And you didn't see Bytel once.
What was I doing?
Bytel 20, and then Rioli and Short for 25. They'll both be about the $2.
Rioli was like $1.80. Rioli was like $1.89, wasn't he? Because we're going to put him in the multi.
Yeah. I think
$1.85.
Yeah, that's his line. And then goals, McStay for 3.
$3.90.
That's nice. Tom Brown for 3.
$29.
Jeez, that's good. That is good.
Did you see the one he buried from like 60?
Yeah, he took the mark and then went back. So he just turned the back. He's a beautiful kick of the footy.
That was fucking awesome.
Braid Hill, Schultz, Hoskin Elliott for 2. Any value there?
Schultz was 212, Bobby Hill 225, and who else?
Will Hoskin Elliott, the myth. Don't worry about the myth.
Couldn't get him. But yeah, that's it. So the Pies need to win next week. Tigers probably going to get the number 1 pick or close to. Good on them. And we move on. Pies by 26. What was the line?
24.5 maybe, I think. I don't know. Can't remember. Next game, Das.
Yeah, next game. Come on, Jev. Here we go. Pump them up.
The Dogs rock up to the SCG and absolutely dog walk us. I saw this coming from a mile away. We speak about it in part 1 of the pod. I just saw this coming. Just super tall. Darcy, we're lucky they didn't kick straight. They couldn't really get the wind right, but just they played Darcy, Norton, Jamara, Rory lobbed down back, big Tim English, Bond's a big guy. I just knew they were going to stretch us. I just had a feeling. Then Malikan went down with a hammy. I just saw this coming and they just dog walked us. One of those games that's like they're beating us so bad and then you're watching it and no matter what, there was more dogs in the screen than the Swans. I just didn't know where our numbers were. They're putting so much pressure on the ball. It'd be like 2 Swans, 4 dogs. Next kick, 2 Swans, 4 dogs. They go forward. They've got all these forwards without any defenders on them. I'm like, felt like there was 20 fucking 6'5" dogs out there. They just look big. They look fit. They play with tenacity. They just smashed us. They were really, really good today, the Dogs.
Tell you what, Jev, the Showtime Swans, they're like Pink. You know when Pink comes to Melbourne, she does 17 shows, 17 really good shows, and then it's time to pack up and go. That's what the Swans are doing at the moment because when I look at their list now, so Malikan obviously went down. Wixie, who's unbelievable team role player early in the year, 8 touches. Will Hayward, we know he's a bit banged up and obviously went off. 8 touches. Logan McDonald didn't know what to do with him, so you had to throw the magnet back.
Then half back because we lost Malikan.
You've just paid him one of the biggest contracts to be like your lead forward for the next few years, but that's fine. Jordan couldn't get into the game. Amadi, that's fine. 10 touches. He's another key
he had
forward.
3 holding the ball tackles. He was actually all right.
Warner,
worst
10K punters club. All we needed him for 20 touches. He's absolutely cooked us at home. Must win.
First time in like 15 weeks he hasn't had 20. Like fuck's sake.
I don't even know.
I think it was Libba that went to him, or I don't even know who went to him. I think he just had a shocker. He had a shocker.
So in the first quarter, he had about 4 or 5. I said at quarter time he's had 10 almost touches where he's got it. It's got bumped out of it a stoppage. He went to get it, an advantage. It was called back. It was. I'm just like, fuck, this is going to absolutely kill us in the ass. Mills obviously working back into it, so I'll give him a mulligan. Braden Campbell needs to be more damaging off the half-back line. Cunningham, Grundy, he just looks his last, 4 or 5 games? He's just dropped off.
Tired. He looks tired.
Robbie Fox.
Cunningham did a job on Waitman. He kept in goals. Waitman could have kicked 4, but he kicked 0 goals, 3.
And Waitman did us in the 4x100. We had 2 losing legs. It's fucked. He kicked 3 points. I thought Parker sat in the hole really well. Like, he's still coming back into it.
They just couldn't get him the ball. So it's funny. Tom McCartan did a good job on Aaron Norton. Played pretty well on Aaron Norton. Made it hard for him. I know Norton had a lot of marks. A lot of them were up the field. What did Norton end up with? How many snags did he kick?
Did he kick one?
Yeah, 0 goals, 2. So Tom McCartan did the job on Norton. Cunningham did the job on Waitman. What did Waitman kick? 0 goals, 3.
And all we needed him for 1 goal.
It was just Melican went down. Blakey had to go to Jamara, Riley West, McNeil. They were just streaming forward and they were kicking it long and quick and just 50-metre quick kicks, and they just took us end to end and just fucking smashed us. We are lucky they missed a few set shots, let me tell you.
Yeah, so when we look at this now, like their spine. So now if they've got Lobb back and Jones, we know their midfield sort of set, and now they can still play that 3 big up forward if they want, and then they can move those pieces around within Darcy, Jamara and Norton. And on any given day, almost like when you look at the Pies on grand final day, they had Elliott, they had Ginnivan, they had Schultz, they had Bobby Hill. One of them's going to go off.
Yep.
So whoever's playing the hot hand, almost like in basketball, you got all your shooters. It's like whoever's hot, like Klay Thompson's hot tonight for the Warriors. Let's go. Just keep feeding him just until he runs out of good luck, I suppose, or form isn't there. But they just had you from the start, and Treloar's having a fucked up season. So
good.
I know he racks it up, but you need to watch how often he gets his hands to the ball within a stoppage and gets it forward. I know a lot of people say it's a lot of dumb kicks, but if everyone knows that he's getting it and it's going to come short, you have to play in front. You then get your runners to run straight off that stoppage, and then you continue that run handball because he consistently gets himself to the right spots.
I thought he used to butcher it a bit as well, and he used to think he was an elite kick, but he wasn't. But now he's sort of cleaned that up a bit as well, and he just doesn't turn it over anymore. He's had 3 turnovers. He's gone at 72%, but he sort of makes possessions count a bit more. He gives it to someone in a better position. Like, he's just improved, like slight tweaks of your game, probably less kicking, more handballing, and then just giving it to Dale and Richards. Ed Richards is one of the smoothest movers I've ever fucking seen.
Isn't he?
He's just an elite midfielder. Yeah. Just, do you remember when I watched this game at Marvel Stadium, Swans Dogs?
I was just about to say this.
How much talent? How much talent do the Dogs put on the park? I'm like, they just put talent everywhere. And then you just watch. You watch Bailey Dale and Richards. You watch Bont, Libber and Treloar. You watch English. You watch Darcy. You watch Norton. You watch Jamara. You watch Cody Waitman. Liam Jones, if you're right. Buku Kama's a pretty good player. Then you watch these few guys like, who's their fullback who's played 1 million games? Played for Hawthorn. Taylor Geray's played 1 million games of footy. Knows how to just be a back pocket and be a general down back. They just put so much talent on the park. It's why, like, when they go to Port Adelaide and lay the eggs they lay, you go, what the hell happened?
Yeah, like they got dog walked that game.
Yeah.
So how interesting is it to see that where the Dogs are going now, and then you've seen Bont almost take a foot off the accelerator a little bit. He's not having to take over games. He did against the Pies. It's like, hey, Nick Dacos had 32 here at 3/4 time. I've got to put the foot on the throttle and just say, boys, jump on. So he's still got that in the bag when he needs. But as it stands, we're in a few group chats, obviously, because we're really good friends. And you're like, who's going to say it to me? Who's going to say the Swans can't win the flag? I'm not going to say it just yet, but what are your honest feelings now coming into it? How close is the competition right now?
Yeah, I just feel like it just depends on injuries.
100%.
If we're going to have, who are we missing? Papley, McInerney. Who are we missing out there? They said it. Anyway, Rampy, now Melican. There was a few. I can't remember all of them, but it's like, if we're going to have our full team, I still think we're premiership favourites. We proved it, this and that. If we're going to start getting into our depth, then fuck no, we're not. Like, we miss Rowbottom. We miss him a heaps. We've got the injured Hayward. We've got Papley out. We've got Rampy out. We've got McInerney out. Who else? We've got a few. So it's sort of like now Malik and hamstring. It's like, if we've got our best side on the our absolute, if every team puts their best 22 on the park, I think we deserve to be premiership favourites for where we are on the ladder and stuff. But there's teams in better form, and you've got to be in form at the right time of the year, and we're not in that form. We are a bang-on average football team right now. Bang on 8th or 9th best team in the league. bang on average. I think teams are playing way better than us. I think Brisbane are playing better. I said on the pod earlier, Brisbane will be premiership favourites today once the Dogs beat the Swans, and they probably are now. I think Freo are playing better footy than us. I think the Dogs are playing better footy. Hawks are in better form. I don't know if they're better than us yet. GWS know what they're doing to win a flag. So I think it's us, it's Carlton. We're in the same. It's us, me, Swans, Carlton, Essendon, around that mark. Maybe Geelong. So we're in that sort of mark.
So this is what I'm going to say. So the league is that close. So in our Carlton group chat, everyone's like, "Oh, we're fucked." We're literally one good win away from turning the cogs, and it's like, we're back. Yeah. So let's say the Blues smack the Pies like we did Geelong, or everyone's like, "Oh, this is it." All right, that now they've got the next month to work into it. If Adelaide somehow beat Geelong, it's like, "Oh, fuck, a Geelong gone." Or if Geelong beat them, no, now they're really in contention. If you have Melbourne beating the Bulldogs, which I don't think they do because the Dogs always beat them under the lid, and everyone's like, "What the fuck's happened to the Dogs?" And also, like the last one, we've got a cracking game. So Giants and Hawks down at Manuka, but if St Kilda happen to roll the Lions at Marvel, then everyone's like, "What a Brisbane!" So it's just going to condense this team list even more. So it's going to be interesting. But I think every team needs, a big team needs over the last 4 weeks. You just need 2-3 good wins, because I think it's so close. But you just need a couple to be like, "Hey, this is it now, boys. Let's go. So. It's still not concerned yet, but if we drop a couple more, if you guys drop a couple more, then it is definitely alarm bells. But yeah, the best ability is availability, and unfortunately, when you're injured, it just kills you.
I'm just so thankful we stacked those wins when the league was a bit average, and we're still 6 points clear even after today. So really, we're still 2 games clear on top. Well, we're 6 points, so at least one game, and we've got the best percentage in the league. So in a way, we're still sort of 2 games clear. We'd have to lose 2, and Brisbane would have to win 2, or lose 2, Hawthorn win Freo win the next 2 for us to not be on top anymore. So, I'm just so thankful we've stacked those wins, because we're playing like the 8th or 9th best team in the league right now. We're average, we're injured, and we're out of form. Like, Chad picks today to have his worst game of the season. Isaac Heaney hasn't been the same as he was at the start of the season. Errol's still playing well, but was turning it over a bit today. Like, he had 2 chances of goal in the first quarter that he usually,
eat the
bread
belly.
and butter, he buries, and he misses. And I'm like, I could just tell we were just that little bit off. He's kicked 1 goal, 2, and had 27. He's still in pretty good form, but like, if he kicks 3, we missed a couple early. But they jumped us. They kicked 5 goals to start. They were just too good. I saw it coming from a fucking mile away, and it just happened.
So it goes to show, how a lot of teams would put work into whether they've got a gun forward or like a gun back you want to neutralise. The thing coming into finals, I reckon you have to tag the best midfielders. When the Swans are rolling, your mids are kicking goals. Yeah. Look what Fremantle are doing now. When Carlton had a few good weeks, Cripps is kicking goals, Walsh is kicking goals, Chera, Hewitt, all those sorts of guys. When your mids are kicking goals, when Bond can get forward, if Liver can get close, I don't think he kicked one today, but Treloar usually almost hits the scoreboard. It's the mids that are the most important. If they can get off the chain early, you're fucked. Yeah. Because then the rest of the team comes with it. So it's going to be interesting over the next couple of weeks. Like, even you look at the Giants the other night, like Tom Green never really hits the scoreboard. When those mids are finally running through, it's the most damaging thing. So I think it's a really good indicator early when we start to watch some sides. If they're kicking goals, let's go. Either a live bet or just fucking put Nan Super on it.
Yeah, stop it.
So I've got a couple odds here for you, Jev.
Yeah, go.
Matty Roberts had 36 touches.
Yeah.
What do you reckon he was paying for 35?
50s.
67.
Yeah, he would have been. If we kick 1 goal at 36, it's a good game for a rookie. It's a fucking good game.
40 touches. Treloar, 625. Yeah, so he's the same
as Dacos.
Heaney,
30.
Heaney would have actually been paying a fair bit. 30.
This doesn't annoy me about Heaney.
430.
But like, remember Heaney at the start of the year was a ball hunting, goal kicking, just a stud. But when we don't have Rowbottom in the side, they sort of went like,
who's doing that role?
He went and stood next to Bond, or he stood next to Libba or Treloar, and it's like, we need Heaney to be just all offense sort of thing. Like, you're just a stud. Don't worry about defense, but he had to for the team. And it's like, so he's had 32, hasn't hit scoreboard. He probably should have. He missed a sitter. But it's like, when he's at his best, it's Rowbottom's in the midfield with Warner and Heaney, and Rowbottom's doing all the defending for the boys, and then they're just hunting the ball. And teams are scared of that, but they're not scared of playing on Heaney. He isn't established enough midfield. If Bont goes stand next to Heaney, he's going to be like beautiful. Like, I'm a better midfielder. I'm more established midfielder than Isaac.
You know what I found so interesting? Like when Kingy said at the start of the year, which I'm like, no, he's a gun. Like he's like, I'm not sure if Heaney will be able to run out the season because it's his first full season being in midfield. But you're like, he's fit as a fiddle. Like he'll be able to do it. But it's unbelievable, like how much it honestly like wears a player down. Like whether he's meant it or not, but like someone that's like, I don't know, Cripps or Bont or Tom Green, Clayton Oliver, they're just in the middle, like just that's it.
You like, I'm ready for Cripps still runs in fourth quarters, win or loss. He's still flying at this time of year.
It's hardened, like he's so hardened.
Bond just gets it done, yeah. So, any other odds that he goals? Jamara 4.
Yeah, Jamar, he's having a good. So I was on him.
He's kicked 4 and 4. Yeah, we were.
I was on him like a house on fire at the start of the year. I haven't gone near him since, and he keeps fucking kicking goals. So 8.25 for 4, which is awesome.
And it's just all 2s.
Riley West is
just a good footballer.
I love him. 2.55.
What about Richards for 1 or Lockie McNeil for 2?
Now Lockie McNeil for 2. 7.75. So the McNeils will be eating well. So give me some singles.
Poulter, Mills.
I don't think you get Poulter.
The Poltergeist.
No, he's not on it. Mills, $1.84. Yeah, they're all too short.
Yeah,
all too short. But that's footy, Jev. As we said, you just got to lick your wounds, get onto there. All you need is to make finals. You hope that you finish 1 or 2 for the home finals.
At least you want one more game. I just want to see this win. I got lucky. We won 10 in a row. I'm like, how easy is this? Now
have you lost 4 of the last
5? It's fucked. Who did we beat? I don't remember who we beat. Who did we beat? Oh, we smashed North a couple of weeks ago by 80
That's
points.
right, 84 points.
Yeah, fuck.
It was a good game. All right,
final game. The hottest team in the competition right now. The Hawks just dog walk the Crows. You and me saw this last week when we were doing the pod. We're like, remember the Hawks weren't favourites. We're like, gobble those points up. They win with ease. 66 points. Just smashed them. The Crows are done. You can officially put a line, even though we put a line through them about round 5. Talk to me.
Jev, if you look at the ladder right now, I can't believe a team has won 10 out of the last 12 and they're still not in the 8.
Yep.
That's fucked. So
their percentage might hurt them and keep them out even if they fucking get on enough points.
That's all right. So the Hawks are on 44 points. Essendon are on 42. So we've got the Hawks just above, which is exactly what I predicted. Let's hope they go on with it. And people are wondering, like, why'd you have that take and why were you still confident early? So this is the formula. Let's go over. If you can win 3 out of 4, you take the team. Let's say your backline. You could argue that you probably take Essendon's backline over Hawthorn's. You could argue it.
Yeah, you could argue it.
Just because the Keys, the start of the year, they brought in Ben Mackay, you could argue it. Let's give that one to Essendon. Midfield, undeniable, you're taking Hawthorn.
Yep.
Forward line, who are you taking?
Undeniable. Well, it's not undeniable, but you take the Hawks.
You take the Hawks. That's 2-1.
Kick more goals.
And what coach are you taking? What one are you want to be the master of puppets, talking to you, coaching you? It's Sam Mitchell, 100%. So when you're winning 3 out of 4, it's going to click.
So it's going to click. Hawks have kicked 1,595 points for the year. Essendon have kicked 1,590. So they've kicked 5 more points than them. But Essendon have given up 1,663 and Hawks have given up 1,527. So if you put it that way, the Hawks actually have a better defense. They've given up 140 less points.
You're a better side across the board. But
better across the board.
Going into the game, Taylor Walker kicked a couple early ones. I was almost going to come on here and say, Jev, I'll give you a hot tip. Don't go see Jack Ginnivan's barber because he has not had a lick of the ice cream at all. But no, he came on late, kicked 2 goals, had 14 touches, but he couldn't get into it early. Cole Shadir, so he's going to take mark of the year eventually, Jev. 12 touches, 2 goals. He's usually a 5-touch, 2-goal sort of game. But a couple of guys I want to go off. So I said earlier, I think late last year, maybe early this year, that Connor McDonald, I can just see Brownlow in him. So he had 28 touches, 2 goals, 1, and he had 14 score assists.
That's a big game.
So every second touch,
He's had a score involvement.
Yeah. So every second touch led to a score. He is unbelievable. Will Day set the game up, though, Jev, early. They pretty much put him on ice. He only finished with 20 touches. What do you have in the first quarter? Yes, he had 8 touches in the first quarter and set it up, kicked a really nice goal. The Wiz is just doing the Wiz thing now. Sicily looks so sore, but he was still able to go forward. They could throw the magnet forward once they know the game was done. 18 touches, 2 goals. They're just playing with house money at the moment. They went in early. They just put chips on their numbers. They cashed early, and now they're just playing with house money. They don't even give a fuck if they bust. This is all learning for the next few years. Adelaide, nothing to touch on. They were doggies.
They're so bad.
They're just so good to watch the Hawks.
Did you see Jai Newcomb's goal from the set shot when he was just one out in the square? Dylan Moore took his time, kicked it to him. How big and strong he looked down there.
He's huge.
Who was on him? Was that Nankervis on him?
Nah, Nankervis.
Just threw him to the side and ragdolled him like a little boy.
Maybe it was James Balays.
Balays.
Balays. That's him. Key defender.
No, he was number 28.
Was he?
On him. Yeah, number 28 was on him. Maybe it was 27. Maybe it was Nankervis.
I thought it was 35.
Oh, fuck, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, he just looked big and strong and you're like, fucking hell, that's the sort of shit that stands up in finals. It's what Chad Warner does. Instead of resting on the bench, he goes and sits at full forward. And it's try and get him 3 1-on-1s in a game. And what Newcomb will start doing that. And Sam Mitchell would have seen Chad doing it. It's why do we need to sit you on the bench, Newcomb? Go play 7 minutes a quarter, full forward, no one else near you. And then, you watch the little guys they just go to work when the ball hits the ground in that forward line.
What would you message? You're what's that little turd whispering in his ear
when he tackled that guy high, when Nick Watson tackled that guy high and he was into him, I'm like, what are you saying? That's all you do. He just got you at your own game, you little turd. No. Yeah, he was just having a nibble at his ear.
He's a fucking good player. He just looks like. Remember when we watched him?
He's okay.
Hey, Jev, he's a fucking star.
He's not.
Wait till he wins a prelim or a grand final, and we just take him and Caddy, and we just look at him. Right. Who do you want at your club?
If he goes missing in a big final, because I don't know what else he's there for. Is all.
No, he's there for pressure and snags, Jev.
We'll see. He's had an AFL rating of 47.
The Showtime Hawks.
Oh, don't.
Jeez, they're good. All right, so that's pretty much that game. Oh, I didn't go over any odds, did I?
Yeah, odds. We've got some touches. Soligo for 30.
Yeah, no one really gives a fuck about this anyway. Soligo, 5.10. That actually would have been nice.
Laird, Scholl, and McDonald for 25.
Laird, 125. Scholl. 3.15. And who?
McDonald.
McDonald's a good player. I hope he doesn't go to the same barber as the boys. Where the fuck is Connor McDonald? $10, $10.50.
It's nice. And then goals, Tex for 3. He's kicked 3 goals, 3, big Texan.
Yeah, he could have had a big day. He looked frustrated. He looked slow today, Jev. Yeah. 470. He looked real slow.
Cracking the shits. Guinea and Thilthorpe for 2.
Guinea was 245. Thilthorpe he got it late as well, $1.76. And the Wiz also kicked 270. Thank you, Nick.
Joel, Kolsha, McDonald all kicked 2. They've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 multiple goal kickers, the Hawks.
124 points is massive.
Sicily, Newcomb, Bruce, Watson, McDonald, Kolsha, Deer, Marvell, Chol, and Ginnivan all kicked 2. We have to see what this multi paid. I'm telling you, go back to Ginnivan for 2. I'm putting it in the calculator.
All right, so Ginnivan is 245.
Okay, 2.45 times who's next? Marvell, Chol for 2.
$1.73.
Times Kolsha, Deer for 2.
335.
Connor McDonald for 2.
305.
Times Nick Watson for 2.
Where was he? 270.
Sorry, times Luke Bruce.
265. This is going to be unbelievable.
Times Jai Newcomb.
$13.
For 2
Yeah.
times James Sicily.
You can't even get sis.
Game for 1.
Couldn't game for 1. That's so weak by
Let's just say he's 3-1 for 2. And that's a minimum.
Mate, it would have been like 80, probably 20.
We'll just say 5 then.
We'll say 5.
20,140 to 1 for all the Hawks players to kick 2. If you had the multi, Jack Ginnivan 2, Marbiol Chol 2, Cole Shadir 2, Connor McDonald 2, Nick Watson 2, Luke Bruce 2, Jai Newcomb 2, James Sicily 2, it would have been 20,140 to 1. You're kidding.
That's awesome.
That shows how good a form they're in. They are on fire.
So next week, let's have a look at next week's games, yeah?
Who are the Hawks got? So they're going to the Giants, are they?
No, it's at Manuka.
Yeah, so Canberra.
That's
like playing a Tassie, you reckon?
The Hawks play local grounds better than anyone.
Yeah.
Like if they're going to verse them, they'd like to verse them there.
So they've got the Giants, they've got the Blues, who they'll go in with all the confidence. You'll be excited to see that game in the MCG. You going to that game? Sunday 1:10, you and Cole?
I think he's still in Bali.
Oh, then they got the Hawks, who they will smash, and who they've got round 24. North. They have to win. If they win 3 and 4, they're in. They've got to either beat the Giants or the Blues.
I hope they beat the Giants.
Yeah, you would, because if they lose the Giants, you know they're coming straight at you.
Well, can you imagine if they finish 8th and we lose to them first final, finish 5th?
Oh, no.
You're not
finishing 5th.
I don't give a fuck.
All right, I got to go, bro.
All right, hey, thanks for the roast.
See ya.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.